Welcome back to another episode of War in Cali. In this episode, I'm going to talk about the tragic story of football player Terrance Cali. Terrance Cali, also known as TK, was born on April 23, 1986. He was raised in Richmond, California, and grew up loving playing multiple sports. This led to Terrance for high school attending De La Salle High School. At the time, De La Salle was the #1 high school football team in the country and had an undefeated record. Terrance was an impactful player on that team and earned a D1 scholarship to the University of Oregon. Terrance graduated from high school in 2004, and he immediately went to the University of Oregon to participate in summer football workouts. On August 12, 2004, Terrance had came back to California only for a few nights to spend time with his family. Terrance and his cousin Lanny spoke on the phone. Terrance said he'd be over to pick up Lanny after he picked up his stepbrother Brandon. Terrance's dad was dating Brandon's mom, so the four of them lived together. While waiting on Brandon to come outside, Terrance was shot multiple times. Richmond police then arrived to the scene. Terrance's family was then notified, and when they arrived, they saw Terrance lying on the road. Terrance was pronounced dead at the scene. Richmond, California was very divided between North, South, and Central Richmond. Terrance was from South Richmond, but wasn't into no street politics. Terrance was known to almost everyone as a star athlete, so him getting killed made zero sense. Terrance didn't have a weapon, and it was clear to police that Terrance's death was premeditated. Terrance had been shot 3 times in the head and once in the back. A few things were found at the scene as well, like a hat. The police became suspicious of Terrance's stepbrother Brandon. Brandon was the last known person to have talked to Terrance, and Brandon knew that Terrance was outside waiting to pick him up. Brandon was interviewed, and he failed a lie detector test. The police learned that Brandon was jealous of Terrance. Brandon was known to have been a gang member. Brandon eventually told the police that his 2 friends, Larry and Larry's little brother Darren, were in on the crime. Brandon told the police that the hat found at the scene was Darren's. Darren and Larry knew Terrance, and it was said that Darren had wanted revenge on Terrance himself for a prior incident with them 2 bumping heads. Darren and Larry were later arrested. Darren's fingerprints was found on the weapon used in the shooting. Darren was later tried as an adult and was convicted of first degree. He was sentenced to 50 years to life in prison. He was only 15 at the time of the shooting. Brandon was shot and killed at a bowling alley 4 years after Terrance's death. Brandon's murder has never been solved, and I guess he got his karma. Terrance's funeral was attended by 3,500 people. It had a lot of support from his family, his community, his high school, and the University of Oregon. Unfortunately, Terrance's dad would die 5 years after him, after he was attacked in an incident. In 2014, a movie was released about De La Salle High School football team called When the Game Stands Tall. Terrance Cali was played by actor Stephen James. It was a tragic tale and sad situation for everybody. RIP to Terrance Cali. This will conclude this episode. If you haven't already, make sure you check out my previous episodes. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.